what was the best Kobe moment?
Listen, there's so many, it's too many to pick from. I will tell you, I'm just going to pick my two favorites. I'm not going to debate whether it's better than anybody else because there's so many you can pick them out. For me, when Shaquille O'Neal went down in the finals against the Indiana Pacers, and Kobe had an opportunity. Kobe rolled up. I got you, big fella. It's all right. It's all right. They hadn't won a championship or anything like that at the time. They obviously needed to win a big-time game against the Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller and the crew, and Kobe Bryant put on an absolute show and basically preserved the victory and ultimately went on to win the championship. That's him shooting over our brother Jalen Rose right there. It was Kobe Bryant going over to Shaq. It's going to be all right. It's okay. Okay. That's number one. Number two. And forgive me, guys, I got brain lock. I forgot which year this was. Dallas, 2002, right? Dallas is going up against, but this is later on. This is without Shaq. Dallas is going up against L.A. They up 25 on L.A. in the third quarter, and Kobe goes ballistic. He just takes over. Scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, put on an absolute show. Nick Van Exel right there. Dirk Nowitzki, a young Dirk Nowitzki right there. That's when he could jump a little bit. I mean, outscored. Look at that. Outscored the Mavs 44-15 in the fourth quarter. What a show. I mean, I remember watching that game. I like, Lord have mercy. This brother's putting on a show. That's what I'm talking about. It's just a couple of facts. One of many favorite moments, but that really stood out. There was no Shaq. It was Kobe. And he just went off and was like, it's a new day. You know what I'm saying? It's a new day.
An assassin for sure.
There we go. Go ahead.
All right, so coming up, I was obsessed with the Olympic teams. And so I remember being so hurt in 2004. That team just was bronze medal, whatever. So for me, one of the things that I remember about Kobe is the Redeem team. And yes. I think this past summer, when we got the documentary about the first play, and we get Melo and you get LeBron recapping what Kobe told them in terms of blowing up the screen that his brother, Pau Gasol, set for Spain. I think getting the story of that team and that documentary, for me, has only enhanced that memory of that squad. But obviously, Kobe was sort of the leader in terms of getting what we were accustomed to as far as USA basketball dominating on the world stage back on track. And so that's something that I really, really remember. And then I think I would think back to, honestly, like the way that Kobe was so invested in Gigi coming into women's basketball, that was such a pure thread as a basketball lover. The way he invested in a plethora of women's basketball players. My teammate Sugar Rogers had the opportunity to train with him, and I just was gawking over the opportunity for her and with her. So I think those are two things that I remember most about Kobe.
Awesome.
And mine had nothing to do with Mine had nothing to do with Kobe Bryant in between the lines, right? And no, I went to battle against Kobe when I was with the Celtics, 2 NBA finals. We had our times and we didn't got tangled up. We didn't talk noise to one another. But mine actually happened on a personal encounter. You know, I'm outside the spot in Vegas in the summertime, and I'm standing outside and I see two, security guards, but not the security guards that you see that look like bouncers. I see the ones that actually be moving like the Secret Service with the president, okay?
Yeah.
And they walk past me, and all of a sudden I feel somebody come, embrace me like this here and lock me up from behind. He's like, "What's up, big fella?" And I turned around, and it was cold. And he was like, "Man, listen, boy, you a dog. You a dog." Now, he didn't just say it I'm giving the version, the Disney version of it. But he was like, "Man, you a dog." And man, my face lit up, and he was like, "Man, I tell people all the time, you the best post defender in the league, one of the best defensive centers in the game, boy. I love you." And y'all really don't understand at 25 years old what that meant to me. And this did everything for as my confidence, because if you know, people always base people on what they score and the stats they put up. And for him to have the basketball mind and recognize me to that capability, man, that was one of the best moments of my life. Now, when we talk about stories in NBA history or compared to LeBron James, Kobe Bryant got the best story, in my opinion, in NBA history. He really,
What?
really do.
Okay.
When it comes
Explain
down
that.
to being, I'm about to if you give me a chance. When it comes down to being at your, I can't stand you.
Y'all so annoying.
When it comes down,
That's what we do.
think about it though. When it comes down to Kobe winning 3 NBA championships with Shaq, Kobe was at his highest. I'm talking about when he was with Adidas. All of us had the 8s. You know, we had the Kobes on our feet, rocking the Adidas. And all of a sudden, Kobe was dealing with the situation in Denver, okay? And most people, when dealing with something, when your livelihood is on the line, I wouldn't have showed up to work, not to that capacity. Kobe was still showing up to work and giving people that work on the floor, giving people straight buckets. And throughout that period, he had lost endorsements, hundreds of millions of dollars. He was getting booed in every arena. And he basically had to start from the bottom and work his way back to the top. And he did that in great fashion for us getting back his endorsements, for us, you know, building back his reputations as one of the best players in the game, winning 2 NBA championships, 2 finals MVPs. You know, the list goes on. And so when I think about how he has 2 jerseys retired, 2 numbers retired in one of the greatest franchises in sports history, I think about Kobe and the route he had to take, the high, the low, back to the high. And his story after basketball was about to be a greater story than his story on the floor. So when I think about Kobe, he has the greatest story in NBA history in my eyes.
Should Lillard start the season on the Blazers?
No,
Or could he?
Well, he could,
Yeah.
but that would be a colossal mistake on the part of the Portland Trail Blazers franchise. They better move him. It took him a hell of a long time to get to this point in his career and in his life where he asked for a trade. For years, I mean, people like myself, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, begged him, get out of there.
Right.
Get out of there. Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going to win. Okay, it's not going to happen. And he refused because of his love and loyalty and devotion to that city. Okay, he has been a spectacular player for them. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best player in the history of the Blazers, with outside of maybe Bill Walton, who obviously is a champion. Bill Walton, if he didn't end up with bad feet, okay, Bill Walton would have been one of the greatest centers. I mean, he's still considered one of the greatest centers who have ever played the game. So if somebody wants to come to me and say Bill Walton is the greatest player in the history of the Blazers franchise, fine. But that's it. I wouldn't pick Clyde Drexler over him or anybody else for that matter. It would be Damian Lillard. He's that dude. And so for him to perform the way that he's performed, to express, to display the level of loyalty that he did, never demanding a trade, never wanting out, you are clearly moving in a different direction, and you drafted an individual that is clearly supposed to be the heir apparent to Damian Lillard. Scooter Henderson is gonna be special. And I got this little pet peeve, Kendrick. Let me give you a little ingredients. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you my little big bro. I never really investigate your family background. I know you from Beaumont, Texas. I get all that. But I never really investigated your family background. So I don't know how many siblings you have. But I know this much. At draft night, NBA draft night, record ratings, by the way, just so y'all
good
know.
thing. Great.
All-time
Y'all were
ratings,
awesome.
way to go. All-time
Yeah.
ratings. The point is this. I'm there, and I saw his sisters. Now, as somebody who has 4 older sisters, Linda, Arlen, Carmen, and Abigail. Okay, not in that order because Linda's the oldest, and then there's Arlen, then there's Abigail, and then there's Carmen. As somebody who has 4 older sisters, who dare I say has been abused by those sisters. I mean, just beat up. I mean, just beat up. Stuff like that to the point where my sister Carmen is out there cooking, and she's cooking more for Kendrick Perkins than she is for me. You know what I'm saying? When Perkins don't even call it a buffet, he calls it groceries. That's what he calls my sister's cooking, groceries. Because like going to the market, okay? I understand what it's like to have sisters hovering over you. Especially in his case, because they could play too. So you got sisters. Forget the critics. His toughest critics are his sisters. Scooter Henderson could ball. The brother got an NBA body. He's got NBA athleticism and quickness. He ain't scared. He's a dog. Got to improve that long-range shot. But those sisters are going to hold him accountable. That brother is going to be special. I think they're going to see to it. You got the heir apparent to Damian Lillard in Scoot Anderson. You don't need Scoot. I said, I call him Scoot.
I know. I was like, wow.
Scoot. All right, y'all happy now? Scoot. Damn it. I got a lot of stuff going
you could
on.
go
The point is
Sterling, but
Scoot. Scoot
okay.
Anderson, all right? Point I'm trying to make is you got a lot going on. And at the end of the day, because you got him, you don't need him trying to coexist with Damian Lillard. He's a franchise caliber player, the number 3 overall pick you can hand the ball to and say, okay, lead us into the future. You don't keep Damian Lillard there under these circumstances. Plus, with Damian Lillard having contributed to that franchise, what he contributed to that franchise. Plus, you haven't an inordinate amount of time over the years to get a great deal for him, but you didn't want to. You didn't make it happen. I'm sorry. He better not be there come the start of the season.
Okay, before I answer this, I just want to piggyback on the tangent a little bit. Shout out to Scoot's parents, Chris and Crystal. That family is lovely.
Yes.
I had a blast hanging out with them
your
in
interview was
Georgia.
great, too.
You were hanging out with all family.
Yeah.
You know, just getting to know these young men is truly a pleasure. One of my favorite roles. Shout out to his older sister, Diamond Hoop, at Syracuse. We crossed paths in the Big East. Also, they sent us to this restaurant called The Big Fish in Marietta.
Yes.
And we had a po' boy with the garlic sauce. Child, I missed my flight. I had to change my flight.
That's what you were talking about yesterday.
Hold it. Did you just admit that you changed your flight because of food? And so am I calling you Monica Perkins now? You changed your flight because of food?
Me and producer Blake was in that joint like, oh, we thought this was a grab and go situation. It wasn't, but it was worth sitting down and changing that flight. It was delicious. Shout out to the Henderson's family. Okay, now, I will continue to be the skeptic in the room, and I'm okay with that. There is absolutely a world in which Damian Lillard is still in Portland come the start of the season because I just do not trust organizations that much. I know that this is a different situation, but just last summer, y'all,
Right.
KD was trying to get out
100%.
of Brooklyn sooner than he ended up leaving, and we saw how that played out. I hope, my hope, I want to make it clear, is that this works out for Dame. He ends up in Miami. Portland gets what they believe is a fair trade exchange. However, I just don't have that much trust in organizations. At the end of the day, Portland is about to move on from their franchise guy, and they don't want to take steps backward. Yes, do I believe Scoot is prepared to take the mantle and will be a tremendous pro? For sure. But their responsibility at this point, as loyal as Dame has been, is to themselves. And I just do not trust them that much. I'm sorry. I hope they prove me wrong, but I do not trust them.
For the sake of all of us, we should all hope that Damian Lillard is going to be in South
Oh,
Beach.
my Lord.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.